Hey everybody, Jack and I are here to make a video for you. You should have this in front of you. It's this colored paper, right? And you're going to end up folding it and putting it in your interactive notebook like we did on the last one, but I'm going to get you started right now. I'm going to do the multiply part with you, and I want you to read along with me. It says 1/4 of the pizza toppings T offered at a pizza place are meat. If 5 toppings are meat, how many total toppings are there? Well, if 1/4 of the toppings, I'm going to write 1/4. And do you see how I'm writing with my mouse pad? 1/4 of the toppings, 1/4 of T equals 5. Well, how would I solve this? Well, I'm multiplying by 1/4. So in order to solve this, I'm going to divide by 1/4. And if I divide 5 by 1/4, that means, do it on your calculators, but basically I'm going to skip, flip, and multiply. So I'm multiplying 5 times 4, and that equals, if you don't know already, equals 20 toppings. All right, now Jack is going to do this next part for division, and I'm going to help him if he gets stuck. Do you want me to write, or do you want to write? I sure can. I'm going to move my face over here so we can read. So here's Jack. He's right next to me, and he's going to help me. It says, or do you want to read it? Yeah. I can read it. Cupcakes are sold for $1.50 each, and $16.50 was the total made. How many cupcakes C were sold? So Jack, what's your thought here? How can I set up this equation? So it's $1.50 for each cupcake, right?
Yeah.
So I know it's $1.50 times the cupcakes, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many cupcakes there are. What was the total amount?
Wait, $16.50.
Sure, $16.50, right? No problem. Hey guys, can you keep it down while I watch the video? I make the video, that would be great. Now Jack, what operation is 1.50 times C? I kind of gave it away. So what's the inverse operation?
Division.
Sure, I'm going to divide both sides by what?
1650? No.
What number is with the letter?
Wait, the number of cupcakes.
Yep, but how much is each cupcake?
150.
That's what I need to divide away so I can figure out how many cupcakes I had. So if I divide both sides by $1.50, I know I spent $16.50. So if I divide that by $1.50, sorry, I just realized I didn't give that to you. How many will I end up with, Jack?
11.
I will end up with 11 cupcakes. Very nice. Make sure you all have this down. Woo, I can't write with this. And Jack's going to help with the next part too. Let me pause the video and move this down. Okay, this is the inside of your foldable. This is all of the division. So if we look at this first part, we have to recognize that y is being divided by 4, and what is the inverse operation? The inverse is multiplication. So I'm going to show, and I'm going to show it with a dot, that I'm multiplying by 4 on both sides. A 4 being multiplied by a division, they cancel out. So I'm left with y equals, and on the other side, 8 times 4 is 32. Let's try another one. In this next problem, I'm multiplying 2/3 times a, and that equals 8. Well, if I'm multiplying, the opposite is division. I'm going to put a big bar underneath this to show division. 2/3 on both sides. 2/3 divided by 2/3 cancels out. And to show 8 divided by 2/3, I'm going to do some work over here. This really means 8 over 1. Dividing by 2/3 really means I'm going to keep, change, flip, right? So I'm keeping 8 over 1. I'm changing this to multiplication, and I'm flipping the second fraction. This should look familiar to you. This means I have 24 over 2. Whoop, there it is. 24 over 2 is 12, so the answer here is 12. I've given you 2 examples. I want you to try the other 4 on your own. Okay, this is the multiplication aspect of your foldable. And I want you to always, always, always ask yourself what operation is going on here. So in this first equation right here, I know 4 is being multiplied by y. The inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. Beautiful. This is a nice easy one. What's 4 divided by 4? 1. So I'm left with just one y, and you all know that there's some invisible math here. There's a 1 in front of it. Excellent. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 1y equals 2, or just y equals 2. Let's try one with negatives because we still struggle a bit with the negatives. This is negative 3 times x. So multiplication, the opposite of multiplication, is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. All right. On this side, I have to divide this by negative 3 because whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other side. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is just 1, so I'm left with 1x. And negative 18 divided by negative 3, negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this is positive 6, and there's my answer. Let's try one with a decimal in it. Okay, this gets tricky because this is the bigger number, so you're automatically thinking, oh, I should divide this 0.41 into 8.2, but that's not the case. We have to decide. I'm going to just draw lines so you can understand. This is the right side of the equation, and the right side of the equation is where my variable is. Let's circle it. I need to get that a by itself. Well, a is being multiplied by another number, so I should divide it. Let's divide by negative 8.2. And if whatever I do on the right side, I also have to do to the left side. So let's divide that by negative 8.2. Now, even though I know you could divide this if you needed to, we aren't going to spend time doing that when we have a calculator. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. We're going to put this into our calculator and use division. Which one goes in first to the calculator? I mean, this is a skill in itself. The top number. So I'm going to press 0.41. Is that in there? There you go. And I'm going to press divide, dividing by negative 8.2. Okay, does everybody see this? And I'm going to press equals or enter, and I get negative 0.05. Be very careful to write the correct number, and that equals A, okay? Now, I've given you a couple of examples. You have 3 more to do on your own. Make sure that when you send me your video notes of your interactive notebook, that you include the other problems that weren't done, okay? That's how I know if you're getting this. Thank you.